Yeah. Peace and love, everybody. We got a real special Moodswingz Monday for you. Today we are live from the Mood, and let me show you who we got in this thing. Let me show you who's in this thing with me, man. Hey,
Yo.
got the CEO and my man Xienhow.
What's good?
Yes, sir.
Y'all got more of history.
Man, hey, check this out. I know I'm crazy in the camera and everything, but check this out, man. Today we got this dude. First of all, I've been knowing this dude. This is one of the few people that I've known probably longer than Abyss. Just a little, maybe 6 months to a year longer than Abyss. But this dude, ever since I've known him, first of all, he was like, to me, he probably won't say it, but to me, I seen him as the leader of this big group called Forensic Science out of the Bay Area, who was massive across the underground, early 2000s and everything. And this dude is like one of the illest cinematographers, videographers, rappers, fucking entrepreneurs, however you want to put it. This dude is one of the illest, and I've seen ever since I've known him, he's been a leader in this. He's been making projects happen all by himself, like the Bay Connect and his tons of other solo projects that he's done on his own. He's put so many people on. And I like to introduce one of the illest dudes that I know, my man Xiehow.
House,
Yeah.
son.
That's one hell of an introduction, man. I appreciate y'all having me, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to link with like minds, you know what I mean? To continue to build and progress the movement forward.
That's what we're doing, man. That's what we're doing.
That's what we all about.
Man, it's a blessing to have you here in the Mood, man. This is our headquarters, Moodswingz Music, Moodswingz Cryptomedia headquarters. This is where,
you having me, man.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing and an honor to have you here. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to, one of our goals is to make sure we interview people that we see are detrimental to the hip hop culture. Instrumental. I'm sorry. Sorry, public education. Instrumental to hip hop culture, and someone who's taking it to higher levels and creating beautiful material, whether it's audio or visuals. You don't see a lot of people who do that type of stuff. So I just want to make sure you let us know, what inspires you, what motivates you, what made you just be such a leader in this just off top.
Well, I mean, that depends on how deep you want to go into the matrix, man.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Take the red pill. Let's
Yeah,
go.
right. You know what I mean? And the other question is, how much time do you have?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But without getting into all that, like some of the real true motivation, as crazy or wild as this might sound, is like I come from civil rights activism in my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, Hope Foye, she was a singer in the early 40s, late 30s. You know what I'm saying? She was doing her thing, and she did a lot in the game. Like you can look up the blacklisting of Hope Foye. There's a documentary on it. You know what I'm saying? That really can break down.
And that's your grandmother?
That's my grandmother. They did a collaboration with the Union Bank of California where they were sponsoring African American artists that were impactful on the culture, impactful on the evolution of civil rights and just music, and they spotlighted my grandmother. A portion of it was narrated by Keith David, legendary actor, you know what I'm saying, and she's done a lot, and so like I carry that with me, which is why I bring that up. You know what I mean? And so like it's very important to me. I've gotten a little bit more wild in my days because I know that I'm a man, and like we all have different sides of ourselves, but the majority of what I create, is important to me to withstand the legacy of time and be something I can share with my grandmother proudly. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important that it stands alone in integrity within my family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so like that's not important to everybody. Everybody's out here doing whatever they're doing. And I'm not knocking anybody else, but I have a certain standard that I lived up to myself. Not that I ain't never had no booty clapping in my shit too.
Yeah.
But I try to stay away from toting the guns and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like there's a time and place for everything. You know, but I take a serious perspective and a high level of responsibility to be accountable to myself and to those that might look up to me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we definitely want to lead these children in the right way.
Yes.
And we have a responsibility. People want to act like we don't, you know, like, yeah, they always want to point to actors and like, hey, man, they're acting and, you know, like nobody's tripping off of them holding guns. It's like, but in a certain way, like there's a truth to that, but at the same time, you know, like we are representing ourselves in real life.
That's real.
Like
That's real life.
That's kind of what separates us from being actors.
Right, because that's a great point. Because not to cut you off, but
no, for sure.
This entertainment, there's a fine line between entertainment value,
right,
and you know the messaging, the subliminal messaging that you're sending to young people that might be looking up to you. And unfortunately, you know, we don't have any real leaders no more.
Right.
You know, in our generation, these entertainers are dubbing as our leaders, and they clearly are not.
They're clearly not leaders. Yeah,
You know,
they're
right.
clearly
So-
not.
right, and it's not even necessarily their fault because they're
Exactly.
just reflections of what they've been inflicted upon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, not that they don't have a responsibility to raise themselves, because you see someone like Hope, who has raised himself and is conscious of a lot of the things that he does as he's continued to move through time. You've seen that his class and elegance continues to rise in the way that he carries himself as a businessman, as a gentleman, you know, like he's willing to acknowledge his mistakes even publicly.
Yeah.
He's a very private man personally, as we see.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into all that, and it's, you know, it's just saying that there are examples of it, but I definitely hear you and agree that you know that there isn't a lot, and so like the only way to truly inspire the next generation, I believe, is to lead by example.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I try to do what I believe in and be the person that I can share. Like if I can't share with my granny, then it's like, man, like you know,
Can you share it with, you know?
I mean, and not that there ain't a time and place to make stuff for others, because there is. But like I said, the majority of where I'm trying to move, which is, you know, more than 90% of the stuff that I create, I got to be able to play it for her. And my granny's 100 years old, man.
That's dope,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? Like her she comes from slavery. You know what I'm saying? So like her people done fought through so many things to get to where I have the freedom to express myself.
That's
so
dope.
And that can't be lost on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because especially when you see with my skin, she already on me hard about, you know, making sure I stay true to my roots.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And being proud of my Black history and my culture. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a duty and responsibility to carry the torch, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's the honorable thing, man.
I'm one of the only artists in my family. I mean, outside of my grandmother.
Her.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're really carrying the torch for her.
It's almost like in a way that your child, you know, carries on the future. You know, like I'm carrying her in a different way. Yes, I'm her grandson, but I'm also like the next generation of musicians.
The musical legacy.
Right. And so I'm doing my best that I hope that one day people will look upon what I have done and contributed to the culture and can hold it with that level of reverence and respect.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
You know
so
what's...
speaking of that, actually, I'm sorry. So speaking of that, like, can you tell the people a little bit about like what you have done? Because you have an extensive resume as far as who you've worked with. You know what I mean? So let people let them know.
I've done some things, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
how many videos you got? Drop that number, because people need to see that. This man,
like myself or
no, just
for
others. Your work.
Yourself, others.
For
how
myself,
many videos have you created?
I'm approaching like 100 high quality music videos, something like that. You know what I mean? With the first one dropping in like 2000, like the real first. I had a couple I did around 2004. 2005, but I would say the real stuff started in 2008 when I started working with Gino Rocks and David Dutton, who are still phenomenal directors in their own rights. I learned a lot from them, and that's part of where I learned to come into my own. As far as me doing videos for other artists, I think I'm probably pushing 300, 400 for over 200 different artists in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because like Mikey said, one of the things that's always been important to me was to share my platform with others, man. Because it's never been just about myself. Because one of the things about being a strong person, you know, there's tall people that are bullies, and there's tall people that look out for others. And you know what I mean? And I was always one of the tall people that, you know, I use my strength for what I feel is good. You know what I'm saying? So I take it in that same light of being an artist. Like, it's not my responsibility to put others on, but I enjoy it. Like for me, there's nothing better than helping others.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's really one of the most rewarding aspects of life, man. That is not a monetary, you know, correlation necessarily. You know.
Right.
Being able to give back, that's part of the reason why Mitch and I are so passionate about what we're doing with Moodswingz Cryptomedia Group,
right,
and things like with Project Noom and Emanate.Live. It's putting power back into the artist's hands.
Right.
And another thing, like you said, is teaching the young people. It's also teaching them, hey, you can make a career out of being an artist, because that's a big thing. Like, yo, what you said about your grandmother, that's huge. You know, like she's a civil rights leader.
Yes.
Essentially. So like that,
yes.
So that makes perfect sense as to why you
was roommates with Eartha Kitt. You know what I'm saying? Like have my mom sitting on Ray Charles' lap while he's playing piano.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Nat King Cole, you know, we're working with those kind of people. She worked directly with Paul Robeson, who was a legendary leader in the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Like, they came after her crazy during the McCarthy era trials, when they were calling anybody, especially civil rights leaders, communists. Anybody that wasn't rolling with the narrative of the day, you were labeled a communist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why she had to leave America, and that's why my grandmother took my mom to Mexico. They moved to Mexico. She had to learn to speak Spanish. My mom was 6 months old. My grandmother is the first black woman in history to have her own television show in Mexico.
That's crazy.
And had to learn Spanish on top of that.
That's crazy.
And she wasn't married. So like to be a single black woman
in Mexico
in the 50s, moving to another country, that's power.
Yeah, that is.
Like no matter how much help or who helped her, guided her, supported her, or whatever, for her to have the strength and to do that during that time when women didn't do that, period. Right. Let alone being a black woman in those times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for her to do that, and they were there until she was 10, and then they went and kind of trailblazed and did the same thing and went to Europe. So my mother speaks French. She speaks Spanish, she speaks German, she understands Portuguese, she speaks other languages. Like, my family is really worldly, so like
diverse.
It kind of makes sense why I'm travelmatic. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been all over the world.
But besides that, though, from what you're saying, because I mean, I know you. I've known you for a long time, and that really puts things into perspective on how you have, not just because you're big, but you're not just your personality is big, just your presence, your energy is big, and ever since like I've met you, motherfuckers looked up to you. Grown men, not kids. A lot of grown men looked up to you. A lot of grown men in your clique. I looked up to you. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
but you have, and I still look up to you. Like I tell you a lot because it's very important to give roses while it's here. To give roses to people while they're here. And when you're a man, a lot of men are conceited. And a lot of men don't like to give people props and shit like that. And like for me, I'm the opposite because I know, it shows that a lot of men, the problem is in America is a lot of men aren't comfortable with themselves as who they are. Yeah, they're not comfortable within their own skin. Me, I'm very comfortable within my own skin. And so when anybody... I'm very blessed. I know this journey of mine has been very blessed. I've had my ups and downs. But for me to have people like you in my life, and not only as friends, but people that help me advance as a man and like help me do things like this, like that to me is so important. And I see from your backstory where it comes from, how that energy was created.
Yeah, right.
So like... And one other thing I wanted to say is, like you said, you make videos that you want to make sure you show your granny. you can show your granny and feel proud. Like me, when I make videos, I don't make any booty shake videos because I want to be able to show my daughters. I feel like everything I create is for, because I'm not trying to blow up while I'm here right now. I tried it already, but now it's just making music for the love. But I want to be able to give my daughters a library of stuff to where now when I'm old, they got something they could, another tool, another tool from, you know, their dad
like
being
a
young.
album, but in the new modern times. Man.
Yeah, but also since I'm a father of daughters, I want my daughters to see that and see like, oh, okay, my dad was like this. He didn't have any crazy booty shaking in his videos. Right. He was a man of honor and a man around solid people. So.
Right. And that's
yeah,
all right
man.
there. If you want
I just wanted to add to that.
Right,
and I've done it. I've done it.
No, and I'm not saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying everything's dope in moderation.
Right.
But some of us,
that's not my focus.
Yes, exactly. Some people that's their specific.
Careers off of
yes, that's their whole purpose.
That's what you want to do. Hey, I'm not knocking you if you ain't hurting nobody and the women are being treated with respect. And they're getting paid, or whatever. There's a mutual, agreeable relationship. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to push that message.
I'm not.
But in regards to what you said just a little bit ago about, you know, people not being secure in themselves, you know, one of the things that people got to remember as men, you know, we got to empower each other.
Exactly.
And just because I'm willing to, or going out of my way because I know how important it is to shine my light and share it with you, that doesn't dim my light.
Exactly.
Bro, I can show you love, give you love without it affecting me in a bad way.
But we come from a culture where we all compete with each other.
Right. It's very competitive.
Yeah.
To bring it full circle, to bring it back to what the show is about, you know, crypto and crypto media specifically. Mm-hmm. We always ask what you know about it. Not just crypto in general, because there's so many buzzwords, right? The company, Moodswingz Cryptomedia, that term usually throws people off, right? So, what do you know about that, or do you know what that is outside of what we, you know, what fucking with us? Like, do you know what that is, and what do you think about it?
Well, so I've been in the crypto space personally since not long enough. Not long enough for when I knew about it. You know, I got into it, I think, in early mid-17, you know what I'm saying, where I was finally comfortable enough to I think about stuff forever before I make moves, man. And that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing, man, you know what I'm saying? And so it made sense to me, especially speaking with you guys about what you're doing, and I know Mikey, just like, you know, I've been to his home, you know, he's had me here with his family, bro, and, you know, and like he said, he's got daughters, you know, like, you're not just gonna bring anybody around your daughters, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bring anybody around my little sister or my mother, you know what I mean? Like we hold the people that we care about in the highest regard. Yes. So, you know, if he brought me into the circle with y'all in the context of us working together, you know, consulting with one another, in the effort to transition music from where it's currently at, because right now we're losing, you know what I mean?
Big time.
Like in a certain way, they've sold this. They basically have sold the pay to play, basically, in a certain sense, if you really look at it, because
they did.
They've gotten everybody to the point. You know, you see every year comes around, there's a new thing, and, you know, it's like, oh, look at how many listeners I got, how many streams I have.
Hey, fools are getting plaques for streams.
Which is great, You know, I'm not knocking, because, you know, if we had these numbers, it's great. You know, it's a nice thing to do. But at the same time, what's the root of that? Like, you're not really seeing a livable income off of that. And so, from what I understand, what you guys are trying to do is, or I shouldn't say trying, what you guys are doing, working on, because trying is not
actually doing the thing.
And action-based, right? You know what I'm saying? Fully, you know, with the intent behind it, is changing the narrative, changing the direction, moving towards a space where there's a lot more real-time accountability On the other end, which is the partners that we work with, your Spotify's, your iTunes. So now you guys are working with these different people, Emanate, Audius, and those type of people and companies that are involved in the streaming space, crypto space that are looking to make it more beneficial so that the artist can really create a way of
a livable way.
Right, and just a greater earning potential. So like for me, making music has never been about money, but that's not saying that I don't deserve to make money from what I've learned to do, and I do at a very high level. I do this at some of the highest levels.
Yeah.
I have hit records. I know it. You know what I'm saying? The world just don't know it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so just because they don't know it doesn't mean that's not what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not true to a certain extent that it hasn't been acknowledged by a populace. I accept that as a reality. I'm not living in denial.
Right.
But I also know that I have music that is worthy of
exactly.
that type of acknowledgement.
That could be thrown right now on the radio and get everybody really shaking.
And in the mix of the top artists, you know what I'm saying? Like I could step into the booth with anybody in the room and feel comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
And so, like I'm here. I support black business. I support black excellence. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough of us in this world that are moving in the right way, And I know that some people will look at me and be like, oh man, you can't say that. I can say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm over here acting with integrity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And moving with action.
I'm over here moving with action. I'm over here following through on the things that I say.
That you're saying, yeah.
And so that, I would say in a nutshell, is what you guys are on the path to doing, is following through on not just having some, I can get my music on Spotify, I can get my music on iTunes. Well, that's great, but what does that mean if it doesn't turn out to be something that's worth my effort?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like, that's why we ask people the question, right? It's like, where are you at with it? What's your perspective on it? And that's so accurate, because you obviously been an artist for a long time. You do not only do you do music, but you do videos and you work with other artists, so you know that artists are not being fairly compensated.
Not at all, not even close.
And we're, as we do these interviews, as we go out in the world and we're talking to people, we're realizing that the average consumer just does not realize. They realize that when they went from CDs to streaming, that they spend less money, but they didn't realize that they really just leaving the artists hanging, and not being able to help them sustain their careers. And everybody don't have to just get paid off of streams or just get paid off of one source.
Yeah,
but I mean, at the same time,
but that one is the primary one, so you should get a fair compensation. Like, that's the thing.
That should be like one of the main
things. It should
things.
just be a
painter
fair.
should be able to get paid from painting and not have to work at Starbucks too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They should be able to just be a painter.
Exactly. Exactly. Even it's not like you're asking
that's somewhat subjective, because I thought about this, because I was like, there was a time where I was like, how could you make it like a certain way to where, like, just like it, let's say you want to join a trade, you want to become a carpenter or a plumber. There's like a certain level of schooling you need.
It's a process,
training and processes.
10,000 hours.
There isn't a global, like, globally acknowledged, or even nationally or even statewide acknowledged, like, this is a program that you go through, this is what you do. You have to have this many albums that you recorded, this many songs that you made.
Structure.
Spent this much time in the studio. Like the artist world is one of the least professional worlds of the entire, interactive, commerce, space.
And in a sense, it's rightfully so, because it's creativity, right? Art is subjective. It's not. You can't put this picture up and go, okay, everybody, this is how much this costs. And everybody's going to want it, right? Because it's all depending on who likes it or not.
And who you are and what you've built up as your brand.
So that makes it different. I understand why there's not a lot of structure around it.
Right.
But there should at least be some kind of fundamental structure where a young person to be like, okay, I want to be this, and then there's a process and a path
to get
them there.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, if you want to be a plumber, a carpenter, an electrician, there's a process
standard you gotta meet. Process and the standard you have to meet.
Yeah.
This shit is just
and a reasonable timeline into which you can achieve it. But you know, there's also has to be expectations set there too, because you gotta look at it and it's like, if someone goes and becomes a plumber or a painter or a flooring installer, an electrician, like those are all respectable, meaningful, you know, careers that can afford you a decent lifestyle, right? And a lot of people, the country was built on the backs of those people that go into those career paths. But they also have to be reminded that unless, you know, that person is going to do stuff outside of that, there is a cap level into which you can grow.
Exactly. You
So
can only go so
if
far.
you're only going to go and be a plumber, and you're not going to go, you know, work on investing, educating yourself further, starting your own business, having other side ventures. There's only a certain level, so you can't go and think you're only going to do a certain number as an artist, and then think that that's going to afford you to be,
have a certain
lifestyle. Now at the same time, you know, there's always, you know, wizards of wonder. You know what I mean? Like right place, right time, right song, right moment. Like it's an anomaly. I mean, look at what is her Bad Barbie or Barbie Bad, whatever her name is. The girl that like was like down there smacked her mom or was going crazy on her mom on Dr. Phil. Now she's really the Catch Me Outside girl. Now she's really bona fide.
She's a millionaire right now off of some that shit.
Off of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, she capitalized on her.
And I ain't knocking her, bro, because whoever, either herself or a combination of herself and the people that moved around her, they capitalized on that situation. And you know, and I'm sure many of us can look at moments that we had in our lives that maybe we didn't capitalize on.
You know where she capitalized? She had a team.
Yeah. And she had a moment she captured, you know, and that's where, you know, we deal with this.
And I hate to bring her up as an example.
No, it's a perfect example.
It's just an example of
it's a valid example.
It's a random. It could be anybody.
But no, but it brings up
Justin Bieber's another example
that Mike talks about a lot. But Justin Bieber, I mean, he's talented, but Mike talks about the fact that, you know, clout or attention can't feed the babies, right?
Right.
But at the same time, in this climate, you have to have the attention in order to make money.
Right.
So because these platforms are basically just attention platforms and they're essentially free to the people that use them.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting for attention.
Yeah, of course.
And once they get your attention, then it's your responsibility to have
do
hooks.
something
have
with
a
that
funnel
attention. Set the
to
hook.
buy something, sell something, give value, do something, right? So there's both. You know, you got to have appeal. You got to appeal to somebody, but then you also got to bring some kind of value or a service or something. So I think the difference with the different industries that we're talking about, so you take an electrician or a plumber, there is a service or a product that they're providing versus an artist. Nobody needs a picture, but you do need music. But you don't need your song. I can go get somebody else. You feel me? So So that's what makes it makes it tough to create a structure around this industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
true.
There's no way to guarantee. Okay, I'm gonna sell 900 records a month. You can't say that because it's up to the general.
It's all really up to your grind, though. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think an artist should put a specific number on what they want to sell per month. I think that they should look at a bigger goal and say, I want to make 6 figures this year. You know what I mean? It's January.
It's a question like, how can you, all you can do is grind. But how can you say, oh no, I'm gonna service this many toilets, right? If I'm a plumber,
Right?
Mm-hmm. And then so I get $150 per toilet. Boom. So it's up to me to set that. Yeah. But I can't be like, okay, I'm gonna make this album, but I don't know how many albums I'm gonna sell. You know, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. You just have to. It has to be strategy. Strategy is really what's a big part of it. Yeah, because we know everyone's fighting for attention, and then these streaming platforms, and that's why I think what we're doing is so dope. Is that we're bringing attention to not only a new different song, but a new different platform as well. And it's not going to capture everyone's attention, but the people whose attention that it does capture is really going to set that hook, like you said, because now they're going to be like, why is this person over here on some stuff we never heard of?
Right, instead of Spotify.
Where it's very convenient, and we know there's 15 million, 150 million listeners or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a crazy, it's really a crazy thing that you got to try to navigate.
It's a balance, you know. You got a balance between being artistic and, you know, as we know, this is 80-90% business. You know?
Yes.
So where I think creatives suffer a lot because
we're not business. Yeah.
They're just not business savvy. But again, bringing back full circle to this Web3 shit, it really does allow you to stay creative, right? And then you use social media in a different way. Like a lot of what we deal with artists is, you got to pay for ads, or you got to try to get in as many people's faces as possible. But on this side of things, you really just got to find your tribe, find your core group of people and just service them. So you don't have to do all this big, marketing, and that's why people don't need labels no more, right? Because you don't need that big budget to find your people. You just got to be more strategic to find your people.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know how much more.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? We've been talking for a cool minute, and I know with my brothers in, we gonna fucking have a 2-hour video. So
I gotta do all that.
But no, we don't gotta do all that, man. I just really honestly wanted to, this is really special to me, man. Y'all are here, y'all here in the headquarters. I got the CEO. I got my man who we're trying to recruit to get on our team as well too, and partner with us because we're growing at a rate that myself and Mitch, it's going to be hard for us alone to keep up with everything. But this is somebody who is very deep and ingrained in our network, who the world needs to take notice of, and that's why I wanted to have him here. Zen, we truly appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, appreciate y'all.
And man, yeah, if there's just anything you want to say just to close it off, please just
Yeah, let them know where they can find you at, what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Man, that's a lot going on, man. It's forever infinitely progressing forward. But I got my third and final solo album, or excuse me, I should say a series of albums, because the last album is coming this year in November 2022. It's been 21 years in the making, you know what I'm saying? And 21 years in the making, man. The first one came out in 2018, but the process started in 2001. You know what I'm saying? And the first album was Evolution, the second album was Process, and the last album is Truth. So the evolution process is Truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break that down more. As I come further into the process as it gets closer. But be on the lookout for that. Is Truth. It's gonna be one of my major projects that I release this year. A lot more videos. You know what I mean?
And who's some of the cats you've been working with on the video?
I've been working with a lot of different cats, man. Zyme. I've been working with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Westbound, you know what I mean? My man XP the Marksman, who's a monster. My man Rio, Trace from the Trenches. My brother Hit a Slim. I've been working with a legendary, iconic figure in Mike Swift. You know what I'm saying? Big mover and shaker. Just did some shit with my boys Seneca and Joe Khan, who's some homies from the old. My girl Dama, who's a beast out of Brooklyn. I've been doing some stuff with her. My man Zeps, we all just seen the joint in the suits the other day. We did that. My boy got his Rhymosaurus thing where he's pushing the whole thing to the children and teaching kids how to rap. And he's got a whole business behind that, which is super dope. That's dope. And then dude, it's so many. It's more than I could name in a nutshell. But I would say. Go to Team Dunson, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, spell that for them. Let them know what your website is. TEAM, like Team Dun Son, but one word, capital D, capital T, capital D, capital S. Team done, son. It's team done, son, because when you come to us, you're done, son. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not going nowhere else. You know what
I love that.
And so just like real quick in my final nutshell is like, hey man, just be a good person, man. You know what I'm saying? Like just
be nice.
Just be you ain't gotta be nice all the time, but just be a good person. Stand on your word, live in integrity, follow through on what you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do something. If you can't do something, communicate. Communication is key. You can be confident, don't be cocky. You know what I'm saying? You can be secure in yourself, don't be arrogant.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying? Like treat others how you want to be treated. Like I've been saying a lot this year that sayings stand around and come through and follow through the generations for a reason.
Yes.
Generations sayings survive through the generations because they make sense.
True.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like treat others how you want to be treated, man.
Exactly.
It's that simple. Go out of your way to be kind to somebody. Also, be willing to listen to somebody that thinks differently than you. Whether
Always.
you're black or white or Mexican or Asian, Republican, Democrat.
Especially if they're different from you.
You gotta be willing to sit on the other side of the table from somebody who thinks completely different than you. And don't sit there and focus on your differences. Find ways that you can find common ground
Yes.
and figure out ways to move forward. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we got to move forward together on this planet as a species.
Amen.
So we got to live together. We don't have to all like each other. We all have our own homes. We all have our own places. There's more than enough space for everybody, despite what they tell you. Just fly on a plane and just look down and you'll see. There's more space than we could ever inhabit, even though they try to tell us that there isn't. It's not true. There's enough for everybody. There's enough fans for everybody. You don't got to hate on the next artist.
Yeah.
There's enough money for everybody. Don't be selfish. Think about other people. You know what I'm saying? Be active in trying to help others. You ain't gotta, go out of your own way and sacrifice yourself and harm yourself. But when you can, help others. You know what I'm saying? And don't be selfish, man. Yeah. Be a giver, not a taker.
Yes, sir.
That's all I gotta say. It's now, baby.
Yeah. On that note, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Hit that notification button. And man, we appreciate y'all.
Yo,
Mikey Motor MC.
I hope y'all like this, man.
This.
We out.
Moodswingz music, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace.